Sup, you chuckle fucks? It's your boy Dark Raikou here with What If Issei was the white. Wait. What did I call this? What if again? Sorry about that. Let me look at that again. What if Issei was the white flames of Monarch? So yeah, or Monarch of White Flames. Okay, maybe I should change the damn title because I'm gonna keep fucking it up and I might keep forgetting. So yeah. So I didn't actually make a thumbnail today. Sorry. I should have made a thumbnail of this what if, but yeah. I mean, I was kind of playing Pokemon. Not really. But pretty much, I had pretty much kind of anxiety in the morning because of my interview. It went well. I want to say decent. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. I don't really know. But other than that, I probably didn't get the job. I'm just gonna get the job that mostly allows me to just stockpile stuff. Mostly like stalker, or what was the word? Fuck it, I can't remember. Not stalker, I can't remember. They both sound the same. And not the point. I'm talking like putting stuff like inventory checking and other stuff. But yeah, I should probably get a job like that. I am not trying to work as a cashier. But yeah, not trying to be bothered by people, greeting people, and blah, 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 blah. That is not the point. Now, what's it called? Let me go into this what if. I know I'm rambling on right now, so let me begin. So, let's begin into this what if. This is part 3 of this what if, but other than that, let me begin. So, we begin into Issei. Well, Issei is right now in his room. He woke up after a while. This is where in the other side of the bed, because he sleeps mostly in the kind of like near the windows, just to see the sunlight a little bit. Mostly the only thing that's good in this kind of vacation is mostly seeing the beauty of this place, and not the other fucking people, because he's annoyed with people. But yeah, of course, on the other side of the bed from his side, mostly his left side, is mostly his tiger just sleeping. And then after that, in Tiger's left side also, is mostly Killua. Killua is mostly the Storm Monarch. A person that's able to control the storm a little bit. Yeah. Well, he's the Monarch of storms, but not the point. Now, Issei is kind of waking up, and this is where, well, he's thinking of going to do a dungeon. This is where he gets up, and this is where, well, first he goes to the shower room. There's actually like a couple of shower rooms in this place, but yeah, not the point. He goes towards it, kind of washes himself, and like decides to get some of the cold water to drop on him, because it really doesn't matter if he's like literally sitting there in either cold water or hot water. It really doesn't affect him. It doesn't really get him sick anymore. Thanks to the system, literally sickness is no longer a problem for Issei. But yeah, this is where, well, Issei is right now looking at his stats while kind of being in the water. This is where, well, the water is kind of pushing his hair down, and of course his bangs is right now covering up his like eyes. And this is where, well, Issei is sighing. What should I do today? Should I go in more dungeons and try to, well, be able to level up? I'm level 81 right now. And not at level 81. I'm level 83. I did level up 2 times during this whole vacation. The most I have gone, gates and keys I have gone are either C to D rank, maybe even a B or A rank. I really want to go in an S rank. I don't know how strong an S rank will be from my power level, but I really want to test myself. I wonder if Killua has ever went on an S rank. Maybe he has, maybe he hadn't. Then again, I don't know this whole point of Monarchs appearing. I thought I was the only one that actually appeared in this world. Maybe there's others. Maybe there's others in my class that are quite similar. Must be what how? No, those 2 idiots are pretty much a waste of potential thanks to the pervertedness. Could be anyone else? Not really. I can't really think of anyone. And those who I think about, mostly I forgot their names. Yeah, Issei completely forgot about their names, but yeah, not the point. Issei is right now sighing and saying, should I go to the beach area? Maybe after a dungeon. Maybe when there's no one at the beach. Maybe I'll go out there, probably the night. Yeah, I'll do that. I don't really care if it's either the sunlight or the night. I don't care if it's hot or cold, the water. I won't get sick. This is where Issei gets out of the shower and decides to dry himself up. But yeah, Let's see where. Well, when he looks into the mirror, he sees his hair, and yes, his hair is like quite mostly like brownish, spiky hair around and other things. He's thinking of probably getting it mostly like a haircut. He should have got a haircut because mostly during the summertime, it's quite hot. Mostly his hair, since it's kind of long, it kind of gets annoying in his mostly head. But yeah, he's thinking of getting a haircut. This is where, well, he said, should get a haircut. This is where he puts on a white t-shirt mostly on. And this is where, well, he then kind of like puts on, what's it called, some blackish kind of like sweatpants. This is where, well, or not blackish sweatpants, mostly these like somewhat cargo black kind of pants. But yeah, mostly, yeah, they're kind of black, but not the point. Black shoes, he got black kind of running shoes on. This is where, well, he puts on a black jacket under his white jacket, but yeah, or not black, it's not entirely black, it's kind of grayish colored, but yeah, even his pants are, well, mostly he's still black, but not the point. His shoes are kind of like grayish, but not the point. This is where, well, he's thinking of getting a haircut, so of course, this is where he puts on his hoodie on, and of course, puts on a mask so people won't actually question who exactly he is. Well, they can question him, but he won't answer them, because he won't give a damn. This is where, well, Issei can still see Killua taking a fucking nap. And this is where, well, he then kind of like, mostly kind of whisper towards the tiger to see if he's awake. His tiger wakes up in an instant. His name is Tigre. And Tigre says, where are we going? We're going to a dungeon. I still need to level up, and you also need to level up also. Yes, I know that. So, what about that guy? Oh, just ignore him. Just let him stay here. Whatever he's going to do later, that's his job, not mine. Or whatever he's going to do. That's his business, not me. This is where Tigre understand. And like walks out mostly out of mostly the hotel room. This is where, well, they're going downstairs. And this is where, well, when they're getting downstairs, they didn't take the elevator. They mostly went downstairs. And decided to take mostly a fire kind of exit way. Just because they don't want to go through the front. Now, of course, when they get out from the back, they're kind of just walking away into mostly the jungle. This is where, well, Issei disappears literally into the jungle and no one could actually find him. Actually, someone was actually trying to troll him, mostly thanks to the fact that their enhanced senses managed to find who exactly this person is. Well, had a curious look because mostly she was confused because this person had a different kind of mana towards him. This is where, well, the girl was going to follow this person and she was hiding behind like a garbage can, which mostly her small stature she could hide behind it. But this is where, well, Issei already found out who exactly was following him, and of course was quite annoyed. He jumped into the jungle and of course just dipped on her, mostly disappear his energy entirely. Now of course, where, well, the white hair kind of like a model decided to chase after him. Mostly went into the jungle, but before she could even like get closer or anywhere, this is where a white tiger appears out of nowhere trying to claw her. This is where, well, she managed to jump away and thought mostly that she didn't get cut until she felt like a scar appear on her face because she did get cut. This is where she realized that she had blood on her face and the tiger is growling at her. This is where, well, she feels the energy being different from now. Mostly this tiger is not normal. But this is where, well, she decides to attack the tiger in an instant. This is where the tiger turns into white flames, disappears, and appears behind her. This is where she now gets clawed behind in an instant, smashing down to the ground. This is where she has to now get away from mostly this tiger. Even with her rook status, she will not be able to defeat this kind of tiger. This is where she runs away and wasn't expecting such a dangerous tiger to be there. This is where the tiger disappears. Mostly when she turns around, mostly to see slick blue eyes. Yes, there are slick blue eyes. Well, not blue eyes. There are blue eyes. And this is where then he just disappears into flames and gone. This is where, well, she doesn't know who exactly that was and really didn't care. She now had to get out of there because it was dangerous. The tiger seemed to want to kill her. And yes, it's a wild animal, but she was confused with it more often than normal. Now, we go into Issei. After Issei managed to leave the, what's it called, Nekomaru / what they call Konoko Taiju away from him, mostly allowing his tiger to fuck her up in an instant by literally beating the shit out of her. He didn't care if mostly his tiger killed her or not. He really would not care that much. He cares too little about mostly anyone in his school. But yeah, if it's not his family or a friend that he just made a while ago being Killua, then he doesn't give a damn. Literally, you can be the most hottest, baddest girl in the entire school, and he can care less. Yeah, Issei really doesn't care. He hasn't even shown what kind of interest or preference he kind of likes. That's just because he's too busy in training and trying to get stronger. Trying to protect his family again. And this time he will protect them instead of just dying that one time. He's angry and kind of dumb and kind of feels stupid half the time when he always does that. He could have realized he could have done something. He could have got the knife and stabbed the guy in the goddamn heart or the goddamn slit his goddamn neck, and Issei really had thoughts about doing that. But of course, a person should be dead already, so it's pointless. This is where, well, we go into mostly Issei getting to a dungeon. Now, it was a B rank dungeon, and when he went into it, it turned into an S rank dungeon because it was a red gate. Literally, a red gate appears. Now, there's one problem about these gates. These gates are actually made by the ruler's power and not, what's it called, mostly monarch power. But yeah, now Issei he doesn't entirely know about what the rulers are. He just still knows a little bit basis of the system. He's just confused a little bit. But yeah, but that's not the point here or there. Now, Issei is kind of just going through this gate, and this is where he almost got shot at. Well, yeah, shot at by mostly an arrow, an ice arrow, and this is where he managed to catch that shit. This is where, well, he wasn't even looking. He then cracked the arrow in an instant, looking towards some tree lines and seeing two, like, ice elves kind of just smirking at him and kind of looking arrogant as fuck. And this is where, well, one of them stuck out their tongue and kind of, like, ran off. This is where Issei seems to have a tick mark on his face. Multiple tick marks, just because he was already fucking annoyed with this bastard. So you get kind of question if he wants, what's it called, himself to go after those bastards and kill them. Issei sighs and says, no, let's just go into this dungeon. This just feels like a red gate. I felt it before, a red gate before, but it wasn't that dangerous at one time I went in there. Yeah, I didn't know this island would have dungeons, so it might be connected towards some higher up or something. I really don't care, I'm just gonna get stronger. So let's just go. This is where, well, we go into 30 minutes later, and this is where, well, multiple bodies are right now laying in the snow. This is where they're basically just a bunch of bears. This is where, well, like polar bears. This is where, well, ice bears. They're mostly called ice bears, but this is where, well, a bunch of bodies are laying down on the ground, bloody and other things. And this is where one person is just standing above, mostly all the way in the front. This is where that one person kind of just turns around to see an army of mostly ice elves. Mostly riding some kind of horse or whatever. This is where, well, also, damn it. Wait, shit. Sorry about that, guys. I just had an ant on my hand and I tried to shake it off if I could. But yeah, that's not the point. Sorry. So, of course, where, well, Issei looks behind him and sees a bunch of, like, these creatures, ice elves. He sees one of them, and this is where, well, one of them actually seems to be the leader and started talking in its kind of own proper language. That's where Issei can understand it, because he's mostly the flame monarch. That's what it's literally called, the white flame monarch. And this is where, well, Issei says, so what exactly are you bastards? Issei kind of questioned. That's where the ice elf leader seems surprised and says, you can understand me? I see. So you're different, you're not a human, are you? This is where, well, Issei says, human, I might not be, but guess what I am? I don't fucking know. Now, tell me, what exactly are you creatures? This is where, well, one of them said with such a prideful, arrogant kind of attitude, and he said his name was, well, his name is Baraku, and this is where, well, mostly he has a cocky ass smirking grin, and this is where, well, Issei looked at this kind of cocky ass motherfucker, and this is where, well, Issei said, so your name is Baraku, and you're cocky and arrogant. Well, since you're cocky and arrogant, I guess I'll kill you. This is where, well, the person kind of grins at Issei and says, do you really think you can kill me? I don't know what you are, you're not a human, but I will kill you. This is where, well, before kind of going on to kill him, this is where, well, one of them says, may I do it? This is where, well, Baraku says, oh, sure, you can. This is where before he can even keep talking, the guy's head was like roll off his body entirely. This is where, well, Issei says, oh, I feel so much better. Less stressful and annoyed and angry since I now killed that bastard. Baraku turns around to see Issei, and Issei right now has a dagger in his hand. Well, not a dagger, it's actually a katana, and it's actually right now in flames. Right now, white flames. And this is where, well, Issei says, sorry about killing your friend. He just had, how should I say, an annoying fucking grin on his face, and I just wanted to slick the damn grin off his face. But other than that, let's fight, you bastards. This is where, well, Issei says one command word, and this is where he then says a word that right now makes a bunch of like people appear behind him. This is where, well, mostly not like these flaming white creatures, being either kind of demonic and a little bit of shadowishness. This is where, well, they rush straight towards the army of mostly Barakyo's army, the Ice Elf leader, and this is where the Ice Elf leader rushes straight towards Issei. Issei with his white katana is right now parrying attacks from mostly, well, the Elf leader. The Elf leader tries to attack Issei again. The Ice, well, mostly it's an Ice Elf leader, and this is where, well, Issei managed to dodge to the right and right now cut off one of his arms. This is where, well, the Ice Elf leader tries to attack Issei again, but this is where Issei then appears with his like right or mostly left hand with the dagger and stabbing it into his head. This is where killing him in an instant, then using the white katana to stab him into the heart, and right now bursting his like body into white flames. But this is where, well, he sees the army, his own army, take out, well, the kind of remaining force of members. This is where he says one word: arise. This is where, well, a bunch of things actually appear around him. This is where, well, I did mention about his class. You see here, he has actually 2 other classes, but I will mention them about later. Now, this is where, well, a bunch of white flame figures appear, but this is where, well, they all disappear into Issei's kind of like body. This is where, well, Issei then walks away. Of course, this is where Tigre came back with mostly a huge kind of like ice bear leader, and this is where, well, it was already dead. This is where Issei then arises him also. This is where, well, he names what to call. He forgot mostly the leader of the Ice Elf, because I also forgot. But this is where, well, he then calls the Ice Elf leader mostly Frio. And this is where, well, he then calls the bear mostly named Iron. Or not Iron, his name is, what's it called? His name is Tank. And this is where, well, Issei decides to just walk away from this place. And this is where getting out of the dungeon, after killing the leader and mostly the 2 bosses that were in these places. But whatever. This is where he gets out, and this is where, well, he feels like he leveled up, because he did level up a good amount. He's now right now at 90. But yeah, this is where, well, not 90, he's at, well, level 89, well, not 89, yeah, level, what's it called, 87 instead. This is where, well, he leveled up a good chunks of like 4 XP, 4 times, but yeah, this is where, well, he then grins, and this is where he walks away, getting out of the dungeon and the dungeon disappearing. But yeah, this is where, oh, he then kind of like did tell his soldiers to kind of get them like magic stones so he can sell them, and so he can get real money and what's it called out of the kind of system. But that's not the point here or there. He then kind of gets out of the dungeon and decides to keep kind of just jumping around the jungle, because it's mostly like a jungle slash tropical forest. So yeah, he's right now just swinging around, jumping around, killing some things, but he just doesn't care. He just keeps training. He wants to get stronger, faster, and will not let anyone die ever just because of his foolishness. But yeah, this is where, well, his eyes glowed kind of red and mostly determined in an instant. His hair became white in a second, like white flames started appearing, and this is where his eyes kind of did glow like a little bit like a goldenish aura appearing on it. But this is where, well, it disappears after a while. This is where, well, he felt this strange power and the skill has been unlocked. This is where, well, the skill is called half transformation. This is where, well, Issei said half transformation. Interesting. It increases my power and other stuff. Well, that's quite interesting. This is where, well, Issei decides to mostly just thinking of going back towards mostly the hotel. But there's one problem. He was thinking of going back to the hotel, seeing the night is going, well, mostly not the night, the sun is going down and it's becoming darker. But instead of going towards mostly the hotel and going to sleep or whatever, he decides to go to the beach. And the beach was empty. Pretty nice also, very like, the air kind of smashed into Issei, and it was quite cold, and it's still very amazing. It felt quite nice. This is where, well, Issei sees the ocean, and of course also sees, well, mostly the moon, not sun, the moon kind of like shining from the sky onto the ocean to make like a moon reflection. This is where, well, Issei kind of just smiles a little bit into mostly the night. He feels the nice breeze going into his body, which he doesn't have his clothes off. He just kind of did put mostly his coat, his kind of grayish jacket coat, mostly as a jacket, onto a kind of mostly the ground, so he could just like sit down and kind of just admire the beauty. This is where, well, he kind of just sighs right now, breathing in and breathing out, and this is where, well, he does have a little bit of scars and other things on his like mostly underneath his like shirt, or not scars, mostly just some kind of like wounds and other things after his battle, but yeah. But it's not many wounds that won't heal. He's right now healing. He's right now just taking a break for a while. His tiger comes out right now, becoming a baby cub tiger, and laying down on mostly his like leaders, or mostly his like, yeah, his leaders kind of like laugh for a second, but yeah. That's where, well, Issei said, if I could always, well, I don't know, being by myself on an island would be nice, or being by myself on the beach would be nice. No other people to bother me or any of that. This is where Issei is just talking to himself by second and other things. This is where Issei sighed, thinking that he would love to just bring his like mom and dad here, because mostly since they became overprotective of him, they actually also became much more caring about him. Less kind of mostly distance away from him. Mostly they're kind of very close, and of course were willing to kind of, well, make sure that he kind of gets proper needs and other things. But yeah, now Issei, instead of being mostly distance away from his parents, he became closer and of course much more protective of his mother or father. This is where, well, he even kind of gets angry and annoyed when people kind of talk trash about his parents, because if they talk trash, well, yeah, how should I say, they're getting packed up in an instant. They're getting folded in an instant by none other than Issei, because Issei would literally kick their ass to the moon and back, or probably just leave their ass in Mars. But not the point. This is where, well, Issei kind of just sighs mostly into the breeze. Some of the sand does smash into his face, but not much. This is where someone appears next to him in an instant, like a lightning flash. This is where, well, it was none other than Killua. Killua kind of just says, yo. This is where, well, he just says, hey. This is where Killua says, so why are you out here? This is where, well, he says, why can't I be out here? Was it legal or something? I mean, if it's illegal, I don't give a damn. This is where, well, Killua says, nah, I don't really care what you do that much. But still, I thought you will be out here when it's kind of daylight and there are other people here. Not you just here by yourself and mostly that tiger. I like it being by myself. I hate loud places with a bunch of crowd people. Truly, I don't want to be bothered by anyone. So, I want to question something. Killua says, yeah, what is it? Why did you come? This is where, well, Killua sighs and says, I only came just to get away from my family. They're quite annoying and bothering, and I just didn't want to stay in the whole summer and other things. But then now I kind of regret it, because I really rather just be training. I could have just decided to give myself my own house with the system and other stuff. Yeah, I found out with the system you can literally, anything you gain from dungeons, you can literally sell it and then make into real money. This is where, well, Killua says, yeah, exactly. This is where, well, Issei sighs, and this is where, well, Issei said, so, have you gone in any dungeons? This is where, well, Killua says, I went on a couple of dungeons, either being the mostly E, D, C, B, and even A. No S. I can't find any S ones. I see. This is where, well, Killua says, what about you? I just went right now in a B rank dungeon that turned into a red dungeon, mostly a red gate. So that would have become S, wouldn't it? Probably would have become S, or probably a high ranking A. This is where, well, Killua says, was it hard? No, not really. With my skills and kind of going by myself most of the time, usually nothing's pretty too hard against me. I'm basically a one-man army by myself. Killua chuckles and says, really? I guess you can say the same for me. But I want to know, what level are you? Issei says, 87. I just leveled up 4 levels a while ago. Killua says, damn it. This is where, well, Issei says, what level are you? 81. I see. So, does that mean that you got in your, what's it called, classes recently? Yeah, and I got 2 classes. Loser, I got 3. Killua says, oh, fuck you, man. This is where, well, Issei says, but for real, I did kind of get 3 classes, probably because of a couple things, but they are not too related towards the problem, or mostly situation. Killua says, I see. So, have you, what's it called? What are you gonna do after mostly this little vacation's over? Or whatever it is? I don't know. How long do we have to stay here? Issei kind of question out. Kilo says, I didn't really pay attention. Neither did I. I don't think anyone in the whole class even paid attention. I think most of the guys were too damn horny and the girls were probably the same. This is where, well, Kilo chuckles and says, yeah, that is true. I don't even know why I enrolled into school, actually. I only enrolled to this school thinking that it's actually going to be a good school and other things. That's what my parents said. And mostly they wanted me to have a good education or whatever bullcrap. This school is literally just a horny ass school altogether. Yeah, I don't know. This is where Kilo says, why did you enroll? Well, mostly when I was a first year, mostly when I was in middle school, my friends kind of mostly asked me if I ever wanted to have a harem. Of course, being a foolish kind of mostly 15-year-old, and mostly also getting a mostly dirty mind at such a young age by someone with kind of an old hairstyle. I don't know who the hell this guy was again. It was an old man who would perverted hell and talk about Opie and how it was a blessing from the gods, which I don't really know. I think that man was just on drugs or something, and I think a bunch of children literally fall for him. This is where Killer says, oh, you're talking about that old man. I don't remember his name neither, but I think I remember him coming to my kind of like homeland and doing the exact same thing. Was it an old man with somewhat of an eye monocle? This is where he says, yeah, that's the one. That motherfucker be talking about the whole loads about Opie. Yeah, luckily I didn't fall for that. I guess you did, loser. This is where Issei says, shut the hell up, Killua. But mostly I kind of fell for it, and I guess I started reading dirty mags from a young age. This is where, well, most of Issei talked about. And this is where, well, luckily I didn't turn out too bad, unlike my two friends, because they are quite more perverted than I. Even though people call me the perverted beast, I change. You see, an incident a while ago happened to me, about like at least a couple of months ago happened to me. Mostly, how should I say, I got shot. Point blank, motherfucker, in the heart. This is where, well, Killua says, oh, damn. And I'm guessing the system recovered you. Yes. Mostly when I was in a dark void place, I literally click onto the system. But the problem is, did your system was a little bit glitchy or not? Killua says, what do you mean? When I got the system power, I was mostly near death, but I actually click onto it. It wasn't glitchy, it was actually like a lightish blue white screen of mine. I see. Because mine was a purple one, but at least white at the same time. And when I click onto yes, it says welcome player. But it a little bit glitched out. I can't tell. This is where, well, Killer says you got a broken one. You got a broken system. Basically a level system. Oh, fuck off, man. I'm higher than you. I'm stronger than you. Fuck off. This is where Killer chuckles and says, huh. So I guess that life-death situation, or mostly death situation, more into that depth. But mostly awakening you to the fact that Opie isn't everything, is it? Well, yeah. I realized that training is more than enough for me to protect my family and those I love. I would have included my friends into that, which I did include them. But now that I realize coming back from the dead, I realized that mostly, yeah, fuck my friends. They're two idiotic morons that get in trouble on a daily basis. I don't care about what they do. Those two idiots dragged my ass into this whole situation, the vacation. Even though they dragged me into it, I don't mind. At least I don't need to really deal with the others. This is where, well, Killua chuckles and says, damn, your friends are screwing you over so hard. Yes, they are. And if I really just want to chase him down in an instant with Tigre. This is where, well, mostly, Killua says, is that the tiger's name? Yeah, Tigre. Mostly when I went into one of the dungeons when I was a beginner, I met Tigre, and Tigre became my mostly companion / familiar. He's mostly like a friend of mine, and an actual true friend, unlike my two idiotic friends. This is where Killua chuckles and says, damn, you're really just calling them idiotic, because they are. They're nothing but obsessed idiots for Opie. Opie this, Opie is glory, Opie is blah 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 blah. God, if Opie fucking helped them in battle, I would not be surprised somehow. Let's see where, well, Killua chuckles a bit more and say, huh, that's interesting. Well, this is where Killua gets up and kind of just dusts himself off, and this is where, well, Killua says, it's kind of getting really dark. Are you going to stay out here the whole time? You know, if you fall asleep, and the next day happens, and it's not a storm, what's it called? Probably the girls would see you sleeping on the beach. Probably they would think of you as a pervert because you kind of woke up so early and like slept over here or something. This is where Issei says, yeah, you're right. I don't want to stay here. This is where Issei says Tigre. Tigre understood, and this is where he went back into Issei, mostly vanishing. And this is where Issei gets up, getting his jacket, and this is where he just dusts it off. This is where, well, Killua says, but other than that, still, even though your friends are idiotic and mostly quite idiotic morons, I guess you can count me as a friend, can't you? This is where Killua said, while turning back around. Issei chuckles and says, I guess, maybe, yeah, sure, why not? Hey, at least you'll be more of a friend than those two idiots. This is where Killua says, I mean, I really didn't have friends, so you can see how I turn out. I really don't like talking to people. Neither do I. Neither either to the girls or guys. I don't care. This is where, well, Killua chuckles and says, well, let's go, because maybe I'm gonna go in a dungeon with you, dungeon exploring later. That's where Issei says, yeah, I don't even mind you going on. Besides, you gotta level up, because you're pretty pathetic. You're like 6 levels behind me. This is where Killua says, shut the fuck up, you bastard. This is where, well, both of them are chuckling and walking away, but yeah. This is where, well, mostly someone was hearing this and right now confused. They were completely confused because it was none other than a girl with kind of brownish hair. And of course, mostly she had someone of a kind of like outfit. It was kind of like revealing a little bit, but not much. She only came out here to kind of like look for something because mostly one of her friends lost it on the beach and they don't want to be discovered. And this is where, well, it was none other than like a necklace kind of, but yeah, like a kind of like greenish emerald necklace, which mostly she tried to look around, but she actually stumbled upon two people that she wasn't expecting to see on the beach. It was none other than Killua, mostly Zoandic, and this is where the other person was actually shocking to her because it was none other than a little bit of her crush being next to Killua, and it was none other than Issei Haidu. Now, of course, she was hearing what was happening, and mostly she was actually kind of crushing the fact that mostly Issei stopped being a pervert. For one reason, life and death situation. Yes, she heard about that and thought it was only rumors, but now Issei confirming it is actually true. She wasn't expecting this and actually became a little bit saddened because mostly Issei stopped being a pervert and seemed to be growing up way too fast. Now, of course, there's also the fact with systems and other shit that she didn't really understand too much. She wanted to confirm this by actually getting out of the rock, but she didn't because mostly when she tried to like get out of the rock, a tiger mostly that was sitting on Issei's lap kind of glared at the girl, mostly glanced with a very kind of like mostly slick kind of blue eye. This is where, well, she got scared and kind of hid behind, thinking the tiger didn't see her, but the tiger clearly saw her. And the tiger would mention this later, but mostly he didn't want to bother his legion with another kind of person talking, but yeah. This is where, well, we go into Issei kind of, well, getting back to the room. This is where his tiger actually mentioned something. This is where, well, Tigre says, did you notice the girl that was actually looking at us? Or mostly looking at you guys? There was someone? Yeah, someone with brownish hair and brownish eyes. Kind of any other features? I guess you can say she had revealing kind of clothes, but not much. It was kind of like a see-through kind of outfit. I see. She did have a bra and mostly panty, but other than that, like a see-through outfit a little bit. I can only think of two people that can probably wear that. Moriyama or Aika, or probably someone else. It could be a problem. I'll probably have to erase their memories later. Or probably kill them. I don't care in which way. Tigre says, if you want me, I can kill them for you. No, it'd be fine. It would be causing another situation and panic. We're not gonna do that. That's where, well, Tigre nodded and decides to kind of go on with kind of like going to sleep, but yeah. Issei falls asleep while mostly Killua also falls asleep in his other bed while Tigre sleeps in the middle, but yeah. This is where, well, the next day happens and this is where Issei's in the shower again, kind of washing up, and this is where he hears a knock. It's another Killua. Killua says, are you gonna take 1 hour in that fucking bathroom? I gotta use also. Issei says, fuck off, go use another one. Go to the neighbors and ask for them. Motherfucker, I ain't gonna break into their goddamn apartments, or mostly not apartments, well, yeah, their kind of room and just ask, can I use the bathroom real fast? This is where Issei says, not my problem, motherfucker. This is where, well, Issei managed to get out, of course, used a bit about his like flame magic to kind of just steam up the kind of like wetness from his body. And this is where he then changed clothes. This is where he opens the door and says, "Done, motherfucker." This is where Killua says, "Thank you, you son of a bitch." This is where, well, they kind of just play fighting because, well, it's mostly interesting because mostly they never had friends to kind of play fight. Unless Issei counts Matsui Murahama, because they only play fight about, well, other things, but yeah, Opie most of the time, but yeah. This is where, well, we go into mostly a time skip, but mostly Killua and mostly Issei going towards a dungeon they managed to sense a while ago. Now, of course, it wasn't too much of a threat, but they're just going towards him. Tigre is also following along, right now jumping on tree branches. Issei is doing the same, and this time he's making sure that he uses a bit of magic, so this time he won't slip and like fall down into water, and this time he will find Moriyama, right now, for some reason, washing up near a lake. He doesn't care. Killua is right now using a bit of lightning magic to stick onto the tree branches, and then let go and just kind of run faster, but yeah. Now, Killua, I should mention what he's wearing. He's wearing a kind of white long sleeve shirt, and of course, where he's also wearing like a scarf, like a blue scarf a little bit. Wearing some like blue kind of like shorts, somewhat, yeah, like bluish shorts. And of course, this is where he's wearing blue shoes. And this is where, well, he also has a spiky white hair kind of spiked up because he's right now cloaking a little bit of lightning. But yeah, this is where, well, we go into Issei. Issei is basically wearing this. So he's wearing like blue jean pants, like a grayish kind of like shirt, of course, black kind of jacket, or like black kind of coat jacket, but that's not the point. And this is where, well, he did also change his hairstyle in an instant. He did go to a barber before kind of going to, well, to mostly the gate. But yeah, pretty much it's kind of like a little bit longish, and it kind of just falls down. But yeah, so yeah. It looks more like this, mostly his hairstyle kind of just going down instead of mostly being like spiked up all around. And it's mostly kind of brownish color, but yeah, but that's not the point. But yeah, now of course with that happening, we go into mostly Issei kind of like getting straight towards the dungeon. This is where, well, they're kind of wearing an invisible cloak around them just to hide their kind of like presence a little bit, like their magic, but yeah. They get to the dungeon, and this is where, well, they see it's a pretty big dungeon. It's actually supposed to be an A-rank dungeon, which they decide to go in it together, but fuck it. This is where, well, it turned into a red gate, and then just, well, yeah, kind of a red gate. This is where, well, they get inside, and mostly what they see is an army of, well, Orcs, like high-ranking Orcs. This is where the high-ranking Orcs rushes towards Issei. Killua disappears and literally just smashing a kick into an Orc's head, right now exploding in an instant. And this is where dodging, mostly leaping for the sky after kicking that guy up because he did a backflip, and decides to smash a kick down on one of the high-ranking Orcs to kill them in an instant. Mostly their head just exploded, but yeah. This is where another orc tries to attack mostly Killua, but this is where Killua just kind of hits it in a pressure point near his heart with mostly 2 fingers, and this is where his whole chest caved in an instant. This is where he's disappearing in an instant and just reappearing, but yeah. Well, let me say that again. Kind of fighting like an assassin at the same time, someone like hand-to-hand combat, but not much. This is where, well, we go into Issei, disappearing in an instant, reappearing right in front of some, well, mostly right in front of more orcs. But at the same time, the orcs behind them, there were like 5 of them, and 5 of their heads just disappears in an instant, falling down to the ground. Issei has 2 daggers in an instant, kind of looking like mostly these red ones. This is where, well, he disappears again and reappears right now, slashing another one, and then disappears, reappears, and just keeps kind of doing the same. This is where he then says, "White flame dash." This is where his body, mostly his legs, turns flames, like whitish flames. Think of it like Yamamoto when he dashes into mostly Yuha. That's how he did it. He mostly rushed in running, and a white flame trope appears behind him. And this is where, well, he then appears behind mostly a bunch of high orcs. This is where they turn into flames in an instant, but yeah. But this is where, well, mostly that happened towards, what's it called? The high orcs. And this is where, well, they thought they're actually finished, but this is where they sense a high, like, amount of mana. That's where they go towards the high amount of mana and sees an army of high orcs, 4 high-ranking orcs, like higher-ranking orcs, like main bodyguards, towards a high-ranking orc that seems to be a mage, a powerful mage that has a skull on his face. This is where he goes into a language and then starts talking in the human language, even though they can even understand the first language. But yeah, This is where the high-ranking orc says, "So you're the foolish humans that dare go into my territory. It seems that I will have to slaughter you too." This is where, Issei sighs and says Tigre. This is where Tigre right now appears right in front of Issei. Became one of the largest animals right now appearing right in front of what's it called? High orcs, and this is where he swings a one bit of his hand, right now destroying a good chunk of 50 high orcs in an instant. High orcs strike to attack mostly Tigre. Tigre right now roars in an instant, stunning some of them, and this is where he then sends a white flame from his mouth in an instant, burning up a bunch of these high orcs in an instant. This is where he then dissipates in an instant, turning into a bunch of white swords and smashing into a bunch of high orcs. This is where Issei is right now rushing through high orcs in an instant, jumping on one of their bodies, stabbing him in the head with the dagger, and then disappearing again, stabbing another guy in the head with the dagger. And this is where he then kind of jumped off that guy after kind of stabbing someone in the leg, and then stabbing him right in the kind of chin, into his chin and kind of through his head. But yeah, this is where he takes out his daggers, and this is where blood goes up to his face. But he doesn't seem to care too much. This is where, he then kind of just keeps doing that, rinse and repeat somewhat, but this is where he then kind of says, "White flame slashes." This is where, with his daggers, they turn into kind of whitish flames, but they were still kind of reddish a little bit. But this is where, he swings multiple times, and this is where he then cuts down a bunch of army. But yeah, this is where, Killua is kind of saying, God, mostly he calls a technique called, Killua says, Godspeed. This is where, his body crackles with lightning in an instant. This is where his head is right now kind of crackling with lightning. Also, his hair became much more sharper instead of flimsy a little bit. This is where, he then disappears in an instant, reappearing right in front of a mostly high orc, kicking him once and his head exploded in an instant. This is where he dodges multiple attacks in an instant, and then of course just disappears, kicked him either in the head, stomach, or whatever, or just in the leg right now, destroying mostly their bones, exploding their heads, exploding, mostly caving in their chest and whatever. This is where, Issei kind of smirks and seeing how Killua is strong. He's fast and strong. He also noticed that the form seems to be taking a lot of mana from him. This is where Issei then says, "Arise, my army." This is where, an army arises underneath him, but this time, instead of being like dark shadows similar to the Song Jin-woo, it's basically white flames appearing around his body, and then just appearing around him, kind of making an army. This is where, of high orcs. This is where the high orcs rushes into mostly the army of, the high orcs, the other high orcs enemy. This is where, Issei disappears in an instant right now, transforming his daggers into a katana, a white flame katana. And this is where, he slashes multiple of them down. This is where, he's rushing straight towards the high orc. The strongest orc. But before going to the strongest orc, 4 kind of mostly bodyguards of the strongest orc, the mage, this is where appear right in front of Issei. Issei says, "Disappear from my sight." This is where someone appears right in front of mostly Issei, being a swordsman. And this is where he has a large sword, and this is where he then cuts him down in an instant. Right now also barbecuing them at the same time with the sword of mostly, this is how the sword looks like. This sword. But yeah, but it's not the White Flame Monarch, it's original. No, it's someone else. It's none other than Icarus. But yeah, I'll mention why Icarus is here also. But this is where, Issei is right now rushing to the high-ranking orc. The high-ranking orc right now goes into a bunch of spells to curse Issei, but it doesn't work on Issei. And Issei says, "Surprise, motherfucker." Issei slashes the katana down, mostly swings it down, and right now cutting the mask off of the orc, and the orc says, "You miss," before he was cut down into 2. This is where, he was literally just cut down from the top all the way to the bottom in middle. This is where, he bursts into white flames, but before turning into a soldier that Issei asked for. But yeah, he somewhat has a shadow monarch's kind of a power to revive people from the dead, but they became like a white flame kind of demonic soldier instead of like a shadow kind of figure. But yeah, this is where, Issei kind of sighs and says, "Well, I will name you Tusk, and you 4, I will name you 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Issei said, "Okay, I don't care." This is where, Killua sighs. Of course, he also did something similar towards most of the army that he kills. A bunch of lightning figures appear, but this is where they disappear also in an instant. But yeah, this is where Issei looks confused. He looks kind of curious at Killua. Killua says, "What? You think you're the only one that can do something similar to that? Fuck you." Issei says, Nah. But still, We're going outside, right? We're finished already. Well, yeah. Unless you want to keep fighting these weaklings, but I don't think you really want to do that. Not really. Also, Killua. This is where Killua says, well, have you talked with, what's it called, Sona? This is where, well, Sona. Oh yeah, I did. I remember talking towards her about mostly how to leave this island. She said that mostly in a couple of weeks we will leave, but yeah. When you I went to talk to her when, what's it called? When you went to go get your, like, haircut. Issei says, right? I look good, right? This is where Killua says, nah, you look kinda garbage. Fuck you, man. This is where, well, Killua just chuckles. This is where, well, Issei says, okay, so in a couple of weeks, what if I want to go home earlier? Well, if she also said if you seem homesick, you can go earlier. This is where Issei says, I see. Gotta pretend how to be homesick. This is where, well, Killua says, aren't you always homesick? I am, because these dumbasses, my two demonic, or not demonic, dumbass friends decide to really fuck me over, but yeah. This is where Killua chuckles and says, well, that's basically your friends there. Ah, screw them. Whatever that's happening in the beach, I hope they're fucking dying, probably. This is where, well, we go into Issei and mostly Killua getting out of the dungeon. Now they felt this strange, powerful energy coming from the beach. This is where, well, both of them looked at each other and kind of nodded, disappearing in an instant. Mostly Killua right now appears back in Godspeed, right now using a technique called, well, first one he was using Whirlwind to actually fight against the enemies, but this time he's using lightning, what's it called? Mostly it's called Speed of Lightning, and this is where, well, they're both running straight towards the direction, and where this, like, powerful magical signature appeared. Now, we go into the beach. The beach actually appeared mostly an ant. It looks to be an ant. And of course, where the ant right now has a very powerful dark aura around him. A reddish aura. This is where, well, he has mostly like this black kind of scales. Someone is like an ant scales, but not. It's similar to armor. And of course, a lot of people try to damage it. But of course, it won't work against this thing. And this thing, it seems to be quite powerful. Quite as strong as a Mao, or even as like Mike, or even Azo. This is where, well, this thing is so strong that it actually took a full blast from Ria's kind of destruction magic and kind of just didn't do jack shit towards it. Even if the destruction magic had destruction properties, it didn't do anything to it. This is where, well, the thing was screeching, and this is where, well, anyone that was normal humans kind of passed out already. Now, of course, where, well, some of the girls, which mostly the males that were almost all normal humans, one of them had a sacred gear. It was someone with longitis, but this is where, well, the ant actually kind of killed him and ate him. Right now, taking the longitis for itself. This is where, well, the longitis itself was basically a low-tier longitis, but yeah. Now, this is where, well, something was happening. Mostly the ant was kind of roaring at, what's it called, everyone. And some of the girls did pass out, but most of them were actually either supernatural or non-supernatural. And some of them probably did have sacred gears. It seems the guys are still the weakest, but yeah. But this is where, well, before anything happens, before even Reyes got attacked by, well, the ant, because the ant seems pretty angry and annoyed with mostly females trying to attack him. Because he sees himself as somewhat of a king. And of course, this is where, well, he wanted to fight against who was the king. This is where, well, Reyes' older brother appears because thanks to mostly Sona actually kind of, well, not Sona, it was actually Akano. And this is where, well, mostly Surgex appears right now attacking, what's it called, the ant. Now, of course, there was other people that were actually on this island. Mostly a team mostly this team was called Slash Dog. And they were here mostly to see if mostly the Chaos Brigade would attack. Which they haven't. Now, of course, when Surgex appears, this is where Slash Dog widened their eyes because they were thinking of helping. But this is where, well, when Surgex sends a ball of destruction more potent straight towards the ant, it didn't do anything to the ant. The ant was still angry and raging and sending so powerful energy that is right now kind of rivaling Surgex. Surgex says, I see. Then I will. This is where Rhea says, Big brother, no. There's a bunch of humans around here. This is where, well, Surgex says, damn it. I can't use full power, and this ant seems to not care about the humans around him. This is where, well, right now the ant grins and saying, you must be the king. I'll kill you and take your power away. This is where, well, before anything happens, this is where, well, someone actually kind of, well, appears right in an instant. Right now having a grayish kind of like, well, not, he kind of has his hood on right now, mostly his black hood. And this is where he kind of appears right in front of the ant. Right now thinking to slash him in an instant. Well, mostly not slash him in an instant. Kind of appearing. mostly on top of a rock. This is where, well, the person there is eyes straight towards the ant. And the ant sends the energy and looks straight towards mostly the other person that appears on the rock. This is where Issei hops off the rock because, yes, it's another Issei, but he has his hood. This is where, well, Issei said, so, you're the one with the most powerful energy signature. And you might be, you're basically from the gate, aren't you? You're from, I heard about this. An ant, similar to that humanoid. Yes, you're from that island, aren't you? Similar, well, mostly near Japan. What was it called? Fuck, I forgot what the island was called, mostly in Solo Leveling, but yes, this is none other than Beru, or I forgot his original name, but not the point. This is where the ant right now screeches and says, so you're the most powerful! Interesting, show me, are you a king or not? This is where the ant rushes at Issei in an instant, right now clocking the shit out of Issei. This is where, well, everyone widened their eyes thinking that mostly this person's head was launched off his body. But of course, the impact wasn't that hit this person. Was everyone thought that they died. But this is where, well, what they all saw shocked them to their core. Now, someone actually appeared on mostly bluish wings, and this is where, well, when she saw the impact and power, she was actually kind of battle crazed, and of course, seeing the person that appeared right in front of the ant, mostly was kind of confusing, but still, they got punched, but it was quite powerful. Now, of course, this is where, well, this is where it kind of looked like this. My man took that punch similar to that of like Sanjin Woo took that punch, but yeah. Also, their auras were kind of like clashing with each other. Mostly a reddish aura, with Issei's kind of aura kind of being a kind of like mostly white flame kind of aura, but not the point. But this is where, well, mostly Issei saw the ant mostly kind of hit him in the face. And this is where, well, Issei kind of just said, wow, that was a nice punch. This is where he spits out a bit of blood. And this is where, well, Issei kind of just looks at the ant. This is where, well, the ant was surprised until Issei clocked him right in the face so hard in an instant before the ant can even react. Right now, launching this shit and mostly through the mostly sand and into the ocean. Right now, making the ocean splash up mostly the water. This is where, well, Issei spits out a little bit more blood. Mostly he like spits out the tooth, but he doesn't give a damn. This is where, well, Issei says, wow, you're acting like an insane mostly bug. Then again, you are a bug, so I can't pretty much say anything to you, can I? This is where everyone widened their eyes to see it's none other than Issei, but his hair looks different and he looks quite more handsome, which some of the girls kind of having a little blood nose. Even Bria's, because she remembered the perverted trio beast, and this is where he looks completely different. This is where, well, she even took a fucking punch from a full-powered ant, mostly in anger. This is where, well, the ant right now rages in an instant and flies up in the air. This is where, right now, the bug flies up in the air and says, are you the king of humans? You really are the king. So I must kill you and take your power. Issei said, huh? You said something? Issei was literally clearing his ears, and everyone thought that Issei is literally messing with this ant. Yes, because he is. He doesn't take this ant too serious. This is where, well, Issei noticed an army of ants, and this is where he said, hey, Killua. This is where Killua appeared behind him, and this is where Killua says, yeah. Why are you behind me? Hey, I gotta look kind of badass. This is where, well, Issei says, I thought you didn't care about females. I don't, but I gotta look quite badass still. Issei sighs and says, go take out the army that's over there flying towards us. I see. Fine. I'll take him out. This is where Killua disappear, well, mostly disappear from mostly Issei's back. And Issei right now appears right in, well, not appears right in front of the ant. Issei kind of says, arise, come out. Well, mostly. So mostly he kind of calls out the wire, but it's mostly a white flame kind of wire. Mostly it kind of looks like the original one that's over here. Where is it? What's it called? Fuck. Where the hell is it? So mostly it looks like this. This is where, well, he then appears underneath Issei, which Issei jumped up in the air, which kind of wire and decides to rush it straight towards what's it called? The, well, mostly ant. This is where Issei says, bring it on, you motherfucker. Issei appears with mostly 2 daggers, and this is where, well, the ant right now roars in instantly anger, and this is where, well, both of them are right now about to clash. But this is where I'm actually about to leave it off. So yes, this is part 3 of this What If. Other than that, bye, see you, and I gotta be gone. But yeah, bye.